You ever feel like you're just not good enough? Like your own flaws are constantly holding you back? Well, we're going to dive into this incredible story from way back in the 13th century about a mystic named Saint Gertrude. She was dealing with that exact same feeling. And the answer she got from the divine? Well, it's probably not what you'd expect.
And what's so cool about this is where it comes from. This isn't some modern take on an old story. Nope. We're looking at the actual text, a direct account of Gertrude's own intimate spiritual conversations. It's like we're getting a direct peek into a 700-year-old journey for truth.
And her journey really boils down to this one kind of mind-bending question. Can a flaw actually be more valuable than perfection? I know, it sounds like a total paradox, right? But stick with me, because the answer is, wow, it's deep.
So let's set the scene. Here's Saint Gertrude, and she has this one all-consuming desire. I mean, it's what drives her every single day. She just wants to be totally, completely pure in the eyes of God. You know, no sins, no faults, just perfect.
And you can really feel how badly she wants this when you read her own words. She literally says she'd give away a massive fortune, gold, silver, the whole deal, just to have a soul that was, and I'm quoting here, without spot and as white as snow. This wasn't just some passing thought. This was everything to her.
And at first, it looks like she gets exactly what she wants. Boom, the Lord just grants her wish, says, "Done. By my power, all your sins are gone." And you think, okay, story over, right? Happy ending. But not so fast.
Because that feeling of joy, it evaporates, and it's replaced by this crushing despair. Gertrude's about to hit a wall, a moment of doubt that's going to make her question everything she thought she knew about being pure.
So even though she got this divine promise, she looks inside and she still sees the flaws. She feels the weight of just being human, the little mistakes, the tiny slip-ups that we all make. And she just spirals, thinking that whole wish for purity was a complete fantasy.
And it's right then, when she's at her absolute lowest, that God asks her this incredibly powerful question. It's one of those questions that just stops you in your tracks. He basically says, hold on, do you really think I'm weaker than the things I made? Whoa, this question is about to change everything for her.
So to get the point across, God doesn't just lecture her. Instead, he uses this beautiful, simple analogy. It's a lesson about light, and it all has to do with the sun.
Okay, so he tells her to picture this, a stained piece of clothing. It's discolored, imperfect, right? But then, what happens if you take that same cloth and just lay it out in the bright, hot sun? Now here's the key part. The sun doesn't just get the stain out, right? It doesn't just return it to how it was. The sun's rays actually bleach it, making it whiter and brighter than it was to begin with. It's a total transformation.
And boom, there's the big reveal of the analogy. If the sun, which is just a thing God made, can do that, if it can not just fix but improve something, then how much more powerful is the creator of the sun? The point is, divine grace isn't an eraser, it's a transformer.
You'd think that would be the end of it. But no, the story isn't over. Because even after this incredible lesson, Gertrude hits another, even deeper crisis. This time, the discouragement is so heavy it just shakes her to her very soul.
She gets so buried under this feeling of being unworthy that she feels totally disconnected from God. The text even says she couldn't taste the sweetness of contemplation. Imagine that. She feels so low she can't even bring herself to pray.
And once again, God steps in. But this time there's no analogy, no metaphor. He just directly infuses her with his holiness, restoring her courage. He tells her she's as beautiful as Queen Esther being presented to the king. And then he says, all your desires are satisfied.
Okay, this is it. This is the moment the whole story has been building towards. We're at the climax, the final conversation that's going to reveal the biggest lesson of all. And it's all about the power of your will, your intention. So he asks her, now that she's standing there like a queen, what do you want? What is your desire? She gives him an answer, but he asks her again. He's pushing her. He wants to know what she really, truly wants deep down. And her answer is, it's just stunning. She doesn't ask for purity anymore. She doesn't ask to be flawless. She says, my only joy is to desire that your will be done, in me and in everyone. It's a total letting go of what she wants for herself. It's complete surrender.
And that right there, that answer, that perfect alignment of her will with the divine will, that is the whole key. That's what unlocks the final, most amazing reward in the entire story.
And what a reward it is.
He tells her, "Because you desired my will so passionately, I will see you as if you had never done a single thing wrong, not even the smallest mistake." Get that? Her intention was so pure, it literally rewrote her reality in God's eyes.
So let's break that down. The big takeaway is this: her intention was valued more than her imperfect actions. Her goodness wasn't measured by her ability to avoid every single fault, but by the purity of her will. In the end, the desire itself was the perfection she was looking for all along.
Which leaves us with a pretty big question to chew on, doesn't it? I mean, we live in a world that is obsessed with results, with our mistakes and our successes. So what does this 700-year-old story tell us about the real power and maybe the real value of our intentions right here, right now?